What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Verdependent podcast, where we depend on the Verde and Black for our everyday vibes. This week, we revel in our boys' return for preseason. We do a little Austin FC news roundup, and we're checking in on some other MLS preseason news before closing out the episode with a stoppage time rundown of the hottest Austin FC, MLS, and World Footy storylines of the past week. I'm Paul, aka Lopaul.
I'm Logan Bartlett, aka Lobar.
That's what's up, G. And just got to do a quick vibe check. Where do you think Driussi's at right now?
Who? Bro, I don't acknowledge players that quit on my club, bro. Respect the crest.
I feel that. Yeah, I was trying to go with a lighthearted, like, Where's Waldo kind of vibe. I Spy kind of books, you know.
Nowhere to be found. There you go.
Right. If you remember the game Clue, like, in the kitchen with the knife kind of vibe.
Kind of. For my heart.
Yeah.
If I'm there too, and my heart is
GeoGuessr myself. So I'm sure he's out there in one of those GeoGuessr games. But anyway, we're going to keep it moving, G. We're going to keep it moving. Because, I think the big story is we're back, boys. The boys are back in town. So you've seen the clips making the rounds on socials. And if you haven't, you need to get some Verde in your life because, team's back, y'all. Preseason number 5 kicked off last week with players reporting for medicals with a notable absence that we'll get into later or not. But Lobar, talk to me. How are you feeling about how the balls are moving again at St. David's Performance Center, man?
I'm feeling good, man. There's an energy of rebirth in the air at St. David's. It seems like all of the clips that I'm seeing, it's a lot of smiles, it's a lot of camaraderie. We're finally like an established club where a lot of the last few guys that were there from year one are still remaining. There's established relationships of guys from different eras that have come in year to year now, right? Like Obrian chilling with Galley and Stuver talking with Cleveland and Julio and Cleveland playing ball together on the court. Like there's just this, everybody's mingling in a fun way. We have obviously Estevez leading the club now.
Yeah. In
a fun way that just brings this, it's an era of unknown for the fan base, and that's exciting. It brings a fun energy. It's just fun, man. It's I say the era of rebirth because it's just a fresh start, right?
Yeah.
And partly, one was forced, right? We were no longer dealing with Josh Wolf, but kind of involuntary restart on a player front, right? And we'll get more into that. But obviously, Driussi not showing unexpectedly to many. It's just kind of like, all right, it's Brandon Vasquez's team now. Like we know that the club is pushing it that way. He is the star boy,
right?
The willing star boy. So it's exciting, man. What about you? What are you feeling? What are the vibes?
Yeah, man. I echo a lot of that. I think a phrase that you used back in the fall was like Austin 2.0. I think after we sacked Josh, but. Yeah, man, it's just exciting, dude. I'm always, I'm a sucker for these things, man. It's like I'm never the biggest fan of social media, except for when Austin feeds me that, first couple of days of preseason, I want to save all the platforms like TikTok. I got you, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, feels good. I know for me, I'm always a big fan of like new boots and seeing what the players are checking out. And enough for me, like, Predator seems to be, the big one out there. I know I saw Galley out there with some custom mercurials. Boy got tiny feet, I guess, because those things just absolutely crunch your stuff. But
how do you think he runs so fast, bro?
Got
ice skates on. It's fucking.
Yeah, man. And I got to shout out Julio. I know I give him guff every now and then, but he was sporting the Pearl Tiempos, and nice. He's feeling himself. And I had to check out the Gaffer's boot selection, and he is a Copa Pure Elite Black and Platinum colorway guy.
What does that say?
That makes sense, bro. That dude was a former ball handler control, because Copa, that's your midfield, that's your dude that is with it. You know what I'm saying? And
hell yeah,
Profa's him, bro.
I like it.
So. I like it. Feels good, G. Feels good.
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 different boots on the to be purchased list now? Just gonna get all 4 of those?
Yeah. Well, me, G. I'm gonna be like Julio, and I'm just gonna shadow striker with the Tiempos on
Let's go.
from the center position. But
I love it. I'll be
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there
yeah.
with
For sure, man. Well, let's jump into the ickiness, I guess, really
you. Yeah,
quickly, so
let's
we
do
can
it.
just rip that off with a band-aid. But
Yeah,
following up with the Sebastian Driussi saga, Austin DP's number 10 has yet to report to training at the time of recording, at least. And
yeah.
Sporting Director Burrell has made it clear from Monday morning that Buddy did not get approval to stay in Argentina
Hmm.
and skip out on medical, and he will be getting reported to the league and fined. Gee, it's not looking good, man. Like, what do you have to
No,
say to me, to other Austin FC fans who are struggling to see Drew Busey disrespect the club like this? And is it even disrespect?
I mean, I said it off top, right? That if you disrespect the crest like that, I don't.
Yeah,
It's just like what's the club is forever. The players are temporary. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Players will
yeah.
come and go. Austin will be forever.
Mm.
Um, to that point, though, like it, I want to have empathy for not only myself but the fan base and all of us
Mm.
together. Of like, Driussi put this team on the map. He is the reason we had any sort of relevance for that 1 year we did good.
Yeah.
Um, and I thank him for that, right? Like he is. I hoped that he would be around through his late 20s, be join the 100 goal club, right? Like be
Yeah.
an MLS, you know, a relevant MLS player in the grand history of the league, right? A name
For
that gets
sure.
mentioned. Doesn't seem it'll be that way outside of a footnote of a runner-up to MVP in 2022.
Tough.
Um, but I bring and we've talked about this on and off air over the last 2 years or so. I bring a very like NFL, NBA, mostly NBA, but like NBA, NFL, MLB kind of perspective to how I see contracts, right?
Hmm.
All of those leagues, the contracts are owned by the club, by the league, right? But there's very little agency for the player when it comes to contract decisions. You can get traded tomorrow
Right.
outside of a very few small list of names that have no trade clauses, right? So it's just
Yeah.
the intra-league doings are the norm, where you trade players to other teams, your competition,
Hmm.
and that's not the case here in MLS. It's not the case in footy necessarily, right?
Yeah.
It's for the most part the players have an equal say in if they'll accept that contract. And I don't, like I said, I'm not the most familiar with it, but that it's hard for me to wrap my mind around that. I do respect it. I do respect players having that agency, and I think it is a good thing for the sport and just for sports by and large. I think other leagues are starting to adopt some of that mentality, or more so
Sure.
the players' associations from other leagues are starting to push for that.
Yeah.
But just coming from it that way, that's where my narrative like of club over player comes from.
Yeah.
Like the player is a part of the system, right? They
Right.
are a part of this club. Um, and for Driussi to just forego that, and just kind of turn the cheek to the fan base, not even say anything to the fans, like not give us a peek into his frustration, whatever that may be, or
Yeah.
reasoning. He just wants to go back to Argentina, right? And we're
Yeah.
left pondering, like, is it family reasons? Is it fit reasons? Is it the culture of the city? Like, what
Yeah.
is it? Is it just the change up top? Like Roto being kind of stubborn and hard headed in the way that he does business, which I appreciate, but maybe Driussi doesn't. And
Yeah.
then the change in coach, maybe Wolf and Driussi had more of a partnership than we believed. And maybe Estevez came in and rubbed him the wrong way. Like, truly, we don't know, right? And
Yeah.
I like to believe that's not the case. But I talked not long enough on that. I find it to be disrespectful because I care about this club. It's named after the city I was born in and that I care
Mm.
about, to be that homer of Central Austin,
Yeah.
or Central Texas. So, yeah, that's me. What about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, for me, dude, it's clear disrespect because I'm like you, man. If it's got Austin with it, I'm behind it, And I think for me, one thing that you talked about was just kind of like there's ways of doing things, right? And I think for me, it's like we've seen time and time again, these cases of players that are wanting a move away from the club and somewhere else, and teams generally like Austin. What's the nickname? Do Right FC. Like
Yeah,
we can do that.
yeah,
Um, but I
exactly.
don't know, man. The way that Drusy went about it, dude, it's like it's very
It's
unfortunate
off.
because like like you said, man, in 22 he let this city kind of believe and hope that we could actually put ourselves up there in MLS big team talk, and um, it's just it didn't end up happening, man, and
No.
that's what's frustrating. But all
So,
that to
bro, you're
say,
making a bag. Like, what are you
yeah,
doing? You're
yeah,
making
exactly,
$6.5 million or whatever a year to play
yeah,
like ass.
right.
So,
I
what are
mean,
you doing here? Like, make it right? Maybe, I don't know.
yeah,
Try harder.
yeah. I feel that, man, but it's just I don't know. It's like at the end of the day, if you want to go, G, like please go.
Oh yeah, I don't want him anymore. I'm done.
But yeah, I'm kind of at that point too now, man.
I
It feels weird.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
Like
will
that's
say
why.
this.
Please, please, please,
I
please.
was just gonna say, like, by any chance, do you think that we see him in Austin before? I was gonna say before the open practice on the 19th, or like
Probably not, bro.
does the move happen?
I don't think, regardless of the move or not, like from what I saw, the fines are so minimal compared to what he
Yeah,
makes, like
right.
$1,000 per day, or it might be more than that. I don't know, but the number I saw was 1,000 per, right?
Yeah,
So like day to day missing practice. If it's only $1,000 throughout this week, that's like $7,000 maybe, whatever
yeah,
it may be. 10,000, 20,000 bucks. That's pennies to his
right.
millions. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like I wouldn't be surprised if his house is up for listing already, if they're selling, if they're or whatever, or for rent, whatever that process
hmm
looks like. That if we do ever see him in Austin again, it's not going to be through the club. It's going to be a random sighting of Drewski, they're selling his cars and walking with a realtor and that kind
right.
of thing, which he has people to do for him. So I don't think
Yeah,
he ever comes back to the city. I would be surprised if he does. Um, if he does end up sticking around, which doesn't seem to be the case, and he does try to amend for this mistake, like I'll listen, but I won't be easy to forgive. I'm ready to move on without him. So
yeah,
I don't think so. No, I think whether the sale goes through or not, like it's clear that multiple clubs are in negotiations now, or approaching
hmm
negotiations now with the club,
yeah,
with Austin, and so yeah, I think Roto holds out until he gets the deal he wants and welcomes Dreesy to stay the fuck away. So
right. Yeah, it is interesting putting this on the perspective now as sporting director. I mean, Austin has seen the effectiveness of Roto since joining the club, and so I
yeah,
would be really interested to see kind of in terms of outgoings. I would say Diego Fagundez was definitely the most high profile, right?
yes,
Um, but it's going to be really interesting how we navigate this one. But I think with Diego, that was kind of out of the blue.
yes,
There was never
exactly.
any kind of like, hey, like this is what went down or whatever until after
Yeah,
the fact. But like, it feels like Dreesy's kicking and screaming. But
yeah.
I don't want to
Well,
talk
I'll
about it
say
anymore.
this.
Go
My
ahead.
last thought on this is to that point. Like the reason I have no frustration toward Diego Fagundes because this wasn't his choice, right? He
Right.
played his ass off for our club. He was like the day one, kind of face of the franchise in a way,
Yeah.
at least to the fan base,
hmm
and like embracing the community. Him and Brad Stu were both. And so when he left, I was sad. It was surprising.
Yeah.
I understood why he went from a financial and um, opportunity standpoint,
Yeah.
but it was sad to see. With Driussi, it's the player pushing himself out or pushing for the club to make change.
Right.
And in you know, looking at comparing Diego's situation, like we didn't bring anybody in to replace him.
Right.
Brad Stewart kind of just carried on that mantle of like the guy, but we didn't bring in another Diego type
A
player
little
necessarily.
disrespectful to Memo Rodriguez, but I hear you.
Fair enough. Okay, my bad. But looking at Driussi, we get a good like 1-for-1 swap. Like
Right.
Driussi's out, Vasquez is in. He's taking the mantle as the lead of this team. The club is pushing around him. Like
Yeah.
the void is filled almost immediately in a way before it's
hmm
even established that the void is there in
Yeah.
Driussi leaving. That's the last thing I'll say. Like it's just a different scenario. The player's pushing himself out, and that's frustrating.
Yeah. No, I feel
So
that, man. I feel that. Well, shifting our focus a little bit
yeah,
into
please.
the new season, kind of that rejuvenation feel. Obviously, new season means new merch, and
Oh,
I don't know about you, but I've definitely been getting some peeks of some stuff out there, and I'm not even talking about the
yeah.
home kit, which I don't hate, by the way.
Okay.
I've seen a
Okay.
lot of folks on Reddit and Twitter
Yeah,
kind of dookie on it, but
you're in the minority there.
it,
It seems.
it
It
is what it
seems.
is.
Yeah.
Right. I think I've seen like a new reversible jacket. I think the new training kits or like the training tops that the players are
Yep.
wearing for
Yep.
those
Yep.
training sections look newer. There's that cream hoodie that Vasquez was wearing for some of those pictures and shit. And I was just like, oh my god, I gotta have that.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one that saw admin try and get us with that New Balance looking at typography for
Yeah, yeah.
the TXFC logo.
Yeah, the
Um,
Austin TXFC 25 or whatever
exactly.
with the
Yeah.
little trailed lines coming
I'm
out of it.
curious to see. Yeah, I'm curious to see if that's going to be on anything.
Dude, I would get a hat with that
Yeah,
or some shit. That'd be hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, yeah. I mean, a shirt, low key, with that A,
That too.
I
Yeah,
would
just like
probably rock that. You
I
know,
like
nice
this
little
one, right?
fitted.
Like the right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. There you
That'd
go.
be that'd be hard. Yeah.
But yeah, what are your thoughts, man? Like, is there? I know I have here. Like, will you be in line copying the authentic green belt kit? That's what I'm calling the new kit, just
Word.
because it's
Yeah.
whatever the green
No,
belt
that's a good
kit
name for it.
in medium with a Vasquez 9 on the back with me, or like what's going on?
100%. Yeah, I buy every jersey no matter what I think of it going into the year. Once it's for sale, I'm like, I pre-ordered it, so
That's it.
I'm getting it.
Hell yeah.
100%. I'll be getting a Vasquez 9.
Yeah.
That's the move this year, I think. I can't even think of another player I would get. I mean, Danny would be dope to get a Danny jersey.
Little
But
Denny 8, you know?
yeah, exactly. So that's
Sheesh.
another option. But I think I'll probably end up going with
Yeah.
a Vasquez 9 just because
Word.
it's going to go hard with
Yeah.
the double Z's. That shit would look fire.
Yeah.
You know how many points that is on Scrabble, bro? That's crazy.
Is it? Oh shit!
Yeah, the
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not
VZ
even gonna
combo.
pretend like I remember my
I couldn't
my
tell you how many points it is,
Scrabble
but I know it's a
scoring. But
lot.
yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Those
That's
Z's count for something.
yeah. Well, let's jump into some halftime then.
Let's do it, man.
Then we've got a little bit of a Austin FC news roundup here. So this isn't an exhaustive list by any means, but you know, when the club does shit, you know, we want to make sure that we're supporting. So
Of course, yeah.
kicking off, we've got last week Austin FC 2 announced that they signed 18-year-old forward Vlad. I'm not even going to try and
On
pronounce that.
Shutui.
On a 2+1 deal. So that's 2 years guarantee with an option for 2027, I believe.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's going to be 2028. But yeah, thoughts on that, G? Like,
I'm a fan of the Romanians, so that's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
bet he sounds cool as shit when he talks because Romanian's a dope language, and I bet his name
Right.
sounds really cool when it's said correctly.
Right.
Other than that, like I know almost nothing about him, but
bro went to high school in Illinois. G.
yeah, but
Elkhurst.
he's American. I mean, he's a dual citizen, so like he's a local boy. I know a lot of folks I know some folks like that I went to college with and whatnot. So specifically Romanians, is why I mentioned that. But all that to say is, from the pedigree that we know very little of and the deal, I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a future U22 kind of guy, where like that +1 option is really okay. We're going to sign you to the main team on a U22 contract now, right? And have this be a practice run with maybe some intermittent call ups, and add him to like the potential carousel of guys that could get the couple of spots we might have over the next couple of years. Him, Burton, Deonda, Jimmy, the CJ, those kind of guys. So
For sure. Oh yeah, man. Well, I know. Moving on to the next point, we've got the first team sharing its preseason calendar with us, and it looks like the only way that we're seeing any kind of action outside of the open practice for season ticket holders is with the preseason tournament out in California. Which moment of silence, real quick, for the G's, the 3252 and Angel City that's out there.
of course,
Fires going on. That's crazy, But yeah, so Roto's still kind of keeping it tight. It looks like it is kind of opening up a little bit with this season ticket holder event again. But yeah,
there's a couple games here in Austin that kind of bookend the preseason play that maybe we'll get a glimpse at. I'm sure people will be in the Verde store up on the stairs.
I heard the
right?
Verde store is a good spot.
Yeah, so I'm sure that'll happen. We'll get updates naturally, right? They'll send updates, maybe some clips.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's all we get. We don't get any stream of any sort. So
For sure. Yeah, and I think they also go out to Florida, if I'm not mistaken. I think in like 2 weeks or something. But yeah,
Joe DiMaggio Sports Complex as well.
That's what's up. Let's see. Moving on, we've got Danny P getting a call up to join La Vino Tinto against the U.S. men's national team this Saturday.
It's a fun one, man.
So yeah, that'll be good for the boy.
Yeah, I'm hoping he gets a start on it. Like, why wouldn't he? You know?
Yeah, and I mean that U.S. men's national team at its best is like a B minus roster. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
not like
MLS.
they're
It's
they're heavy
MLS.
hitting, you know? Yeah,
Right. It's his competition that he's
yeah.
familiar with. So
So I would
fine.
hope, yeah,
Yeah.
I would hope so too. But let's see, carrying the weekend vibes. I know we mentioned this just a little bit ago, but we've got the
Mhm.
season ticket holder event to see
Yeah.
the Verde in training this Sunday at Q2. I know that RSVPs went out in folks' emails. I think I just heard
Yeah.
that Murga's going to be there and get a chance to kind of set up in the South End, and
Nice, dude.
kind of get that early practice in as well. Me personally, I hope we get to try some of our new stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Will you be playing with Murga?
I might split my time a little bit. It just
Cool.
kind of like be chilling, but also depending on what the time frame looks like for them to be playing,
Yeah.
do a little bit of that.
I might try. I might mess around and go nab a seat in the shade or something, or in the sun. I mean, because it's still gonna
Yeah,
be cool. So
yeah,
get a
no,
seat
for
on
sure.
the east end, east stands, and get in that sun
Yeah,
because I'll be
yeah. I'm
standing
curious to
every
see
other
how that's
game.
going to get set up. Like if it's just you grab a seat, or if it's like kind of getting a chance to like walk around the concourse. I'm sure
Probably
you
a little bit of
can, but
both.
it's
I'm
like,
trying to get some pizza rolls and slices.
mm,
So that'd be cool. Double Dave's is
yeah,
hooking it up again.
yeah, no, for sure, man.
I'm gonna eat lunch. It's over the lunch
Right.
hour, sir.
My man is trying to eat right now. You know what I'm
We still have
saying?
snacks, bro. Yeah, I
Plus,
got a pot roast cooking right now, and it's just like the smell, the
oh, you're
fumes of
in
it.
it right now, dude. You got the
I'm all
aromas
thinking
to
about
it.
his
Oh my
food
god.
and Brandon
I think I
Vasquez.
smell a little bit right here. That's
Nice.
crazy.
That's the mustache, bro. All right, close it out for us, bro.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So yesterday, again, we're recording on Tuesday, but the
Yeah.
club announced that it's extending its partnership with St. David's Healthcare for another 10 years. So I think they started that partnership in 2019, but obviously they're extending it
Yeah.
through 2035.
That'll be
So
15 years with St. David's.
yeah, man. I mean, shout out St. David's. That's how I
Yeah.
entered the universe, was at St.
Yeah.
David's.
Right. Right.
So shout out them real quick. But
Oh, yeah. Yeah. St. David's they're good people.
yeah,
Through work, I work with them fairly often through
nice.
their foundation and whatnot. So they're good people.
Yeah, man.
I was also born, I think, was Brackenridge St. David's? Pretty sure it was
I have no idea.
on campus. I'm fairly certain it was. That's where I was
Probably.
born too.
That
So,
sounds, yeah.
yeah.
Heard,
Shut
man.
up.
Heard. Well, yeah. Let's go ahead and take a quick break actually before we
Okay.
turn to the rest of the league and see how this transfer window is playing out for other teams.
Sounds good, man.
Yep. And we're back. So, Lobar, off cam, you were talking and you were feeling like this was a good time to chat about some dealings happening across the league. So, I
Yep.
just wanted to go ahead and just start the second half off by giving you the space to share your thoughts and the transfers that have piqued your interest, my guy.
For sure, man. Yeah, it's a busy time of the off season right now. A lot of clubs are making some meaningful signings, meaningful sales as well
Yeah.
to look ahead to future transfer windows, get all that money. So yeah, I figured we could highlight some of the big moves so far. A lot of this is coming from Tom Bogert. Most of it is confirmed. Some of it is speculative, but if Bogert's talking about it and the way that he's talking about it, I tend to believe that these are coming through. So
Heard.
starting first, we got San Jose, bro. And this is big news because Chicho Arango is seeing his third club in as many years.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to dominate there too. And not only that, they brought in Josef Martinez as maybe dual tens backup, like a 9 and 10 vibe. Like, how are they
Yeah.
going to balance those two, that both guys that at least in form deserve to be starting? What are
Yeah.
your thoughts there?
Well, I just know that Bruce is cooking over there, man. He got that head gig and was like,
Yep.
time to show you guys, what's good over here in San Jose.
Yeah, man.
Because, gosh, what is it, like 5 wooden spoons in a row or something like that? It's like they need to come out. They need to come out of
They've
it. They need
played
to at
very
least end
poorly.
up like 7th at some point. And I think Bruce is going to do that with this roster, at least with these 2 signings.
Yeah, it's going to make decision day fun, man. Like,
Yeah.
if we continue the trend, or
Yeah.
as we continue the trend of playing them on decision day, it's going to be just
Yeah.
going to be a fun, more chaos than normal, probably, with just
sure.
better talent on both teams.
Yeah.
Looking at our in-state rival FC Dallas, they've made a bunch of sales, made a bunch of money. haven't done too much yet. They brought in a few guys who I've never heard of, so that's cool. But
Right.
they have a lot of money looking ahead, and I'm sure we're going to see a retool. So they sent Jesus Ferreira and Paul Arriola to Seattle,
Right.
and then they sent Alan Velasco to Boca Juniors. So two guys are staying in the league in conference rivals as well.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts for both Dallas and Seattle looking at those transfers?
Yeah, so I think the immediate comparison there is when you lose Raul Ruiz like that, you've got to find some attacking talent right away. And
Yep.
I think to keep it in league, smart on their part with Jesus Ferreira. He's a known quantity.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Paul also is a decent contributor.
Those two played well together in my memory as well.
Yeah.
Like they're both speedy. They like to play and run and move the ball quickly. So that's interesting.
Exactly. And then I mean Velasco back to Argentina, like that's money right there, bro. So curious to see how that's going to be. Yeah.
Let's just keep that going.
Right.
Send Argentinian 10s home.
Yeah.
Except for Messi. He wants to stay. So that's nice of him. Messi came and all the Argentinians left, bro.
Bro, I know, man. What's up with that?
But,
who's it? Lucho trying to act out
Lucho's,
too?
We'll get to that.
Anyway, my fault.
No, you're good, bro. You're good. But yeah, it's a lot of money for Dallas to play with now.
Yeah.
Looking east, we have a couple teams that made some good moves. We have DC United, and what I thought was actually a really fun signing. They nabbed the U20 Korean national team keeper Kim Jun Hong.
Yeah,
he's an absolute unit of a dude.
Big unit, my guy.
The thighs on that dude, the like his kneecaps are smaller than the weird muscle that's next to them, whatever that muscle's called.
Right.
That I don't own myself.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
but
the calves were like.
What about you?
Yeah, no, this looks cool, man. From what I'm seeing, it's like just a big guy back there. You know, I'm curious to see what his athleticism looks like taking those shots over in the East, because you know they take shots out there, specifically only in Miami. But yeah, gonna be cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. I think it reminds me of like a not physically, but in terms of just the excitement around it was like 2023, 2022 Damian Loss. You know, like that's the same kind of excitement that I have for DC United now. Like, oh, you got a legitimate quality player, a dude that's played on the U20 national team. Like, that's what I hope we do in the post-Stuver era, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure.
He's going to be around for a longer, I hope, so we're good. But
might be what we develop too, you know? So.
Exactly. And then over at Atlanta United, they're offering Middlesbrough $20 million, which would be a league record, if I'm not mistaken, for striker, and I'm going to butcher this name, but Emmanuel Lath. That dude.
Heard.
Known quality.
Yeah.
Doing well in England, right? Yeah. That's always a good sign for a retooling team.
Yeah. Dude, all I got to say is Atlanta is kind of like a team to look out for, because with the new coach and all of the money that they've got in, and obviously you know, it's just a matter of time to see how they rebuild that squad. And spending $20 million on a striker seems not bad. So curious.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to see the money that MLS clubs owners are willing to spend now on players. It's great for the league. U.S. men's national team center back Sam Rogers signs with Chicago. One of a handful of U.S. men's national team dudes to be coming back to America playing MLS. What are your thoughts on this signing?
Yeah, I mean, seems like a safe move for Sam, if I'm not mistaken, because I think he wasn't out too far away from the States. And so I think for him to come back and maybe get a little bit more playing time seems like the right fit. Curious to see how that works under Berhalter. But,
I forgot about Berhalter. That totally makes sense that he's there and signing his former guys.
Yeah.
A good move, though. I mean, it's smart bring-in for Berhalter to do that. Guys he's familiar with. Another U.S. men's national team dude in midfielder Luca Del Torre. He is joining San Diego FC on loan this year.
Oh, that one's official, yeah. Okay.
It's in the works, but Tom Bogert's like breaking. This is happening. So we're assuming that he's doing it. If he doesn't, whatever.
That's a good piece. A good piece. Yeah, Luca was good.
Yeah.
So I think he was playing in Spain, I think, right? Celta de Vigo or something like that.
Celta de Vigo, yeah. Yeah,
That's what's
good
up.
signing for San Diego. That's an exciting player. It's a known name, right? I think
Hmm.
that's a smart move for them, and it's a loan, so there's no commitment
Right.
necessarily.
Hmm.
But also, if you want to keep him around,
Yeah,
potentially buy him.
for sure.
Looking at some outgoing moves, we have John Tolkien from New York Red Bulls going
Hmm.
to Bundesliga. He's being tied to a team there. Apparently, the sale's more than official, and it's happening. So
Heard.
that's what's up.
That's
That's your
cool,
boy.
man.
Yeah.
That's not my boy. That is all your boy.
Out here's your boy, J.R.R. Tolkien.
Nah, bro. You got to explain to the fans why he's your boy.
Just Lord of the Rings. He has the same name as the author. I mean, not really. It sounds similar,
Right.
but J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yeah.
Shout out Tolkien. Little
That's what's up.
Smeagol on the field, bro. No, that's dope though. Going to a Bundesliga team is a good sell for New York to do that. It's
We love the pastures out in the farmers leagues, guy.
exactly. Alan Polito from Sporting Kansas City. He's been sold to Chivas.
Yep.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure SKC and Kevin Icho are excited about that because Homeboy did a whole lot of nothing except, take time with the medical staff.
Right.
And so hopefully,
He showed off against us a couple times, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe.
Is that right? I thought so. Yeah, maybe I'm making that up. Either way.
Yeah. Anyway,
Everybody does. I just assume.
cool to see him go back, manifesting the same kind of energy for Seba, returning back to your former club.
Exactly.
But anyway.
Yes, exactly.
Sure.
And then Matt Fries, a name that was very popular last season in the goalkeeper of the year conversation. He's rumored to end up in Germany as well. Germany or Netherlands or Belgium, somewhere in that realm.
Yeah.
And get a starting gig out there. So nothing confirmed yet, but big rumors that another New York team is making a big sale out to Germany.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything that helps Brad, in the process of getting more recognition. Yeah. Let's get all these keepers that think they're hot shit out of here and show them that Brad.
Exactly. Yeah. Give our man all the chance he can get to limit the competition and just dominate.
Yeah.
If Austin plays well this year and he does anything close to what he did last year, he's winning.
Yeah.
If we weren't shit, he would have won it.
That's
unfortunately, we didn't do anything except for have Brad Stuber. And then to close it out, we'll expand more on this and what this kind of means moving forward. But Lucho and Evander both are potentially on their way out. More so on the new MLS rules of that whole cash for players kind of thing, cash for gold.
Yeah.
They might be two of the first dominoes to fall to that new system, as they both seem to not be interested in sticking around.
Right.
I think Lucho hasn't shown either. Is that correct?
I believe so. Mm-hmm.
Damn, bro. Something about Argentina and tens that aren't messy. Tail between their legs, all running away from the goat, dude.
Bro, I don't know what it is, bro. I figured you would want to stay, so you can chop it up.
You want to play against your idol.
Tomato little mate, whatever, bro.
Right. Sad, man.
I digress.
Sad.
Anyway,
but those are some of the big signings that I saw that I liked. There's dozens of others from other teams in the league, dozens of sales, names that I don't know that I will know that I probably should know. But these stuck out to me. A lot of just guys that we're familiar with in Austin.
For sure.
We've played against who have dominated in this league before, and a lot of fun, younger kind of U20 U.S. men's national team type players that are coming back to the league, which is just exciting and good for ahead of all of the soccer that's going to be happening on the international stage here in America. It's good to have a lot of known names and high quality names around. So
for sure,
exciting, man.
Yeah. And you bring up a really good point about that international front too, because as I look at this list, it's something that I'm sure we can maybe get into with a different episode, but just kind of asking the question about the ratio of transfers that happen intra-league versus importing from outside of the league, right? And kind of seeing how that quality kind of shows out and plays out over the course of the season, because it's it's cool that we're trading around Jesus Ferreira and
Chicho, right? Like those guys.
The pool isn't growing by that means, unless we're bringing in folks like Atlanta is doing, or, stuff like that.
San Diego for teams. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
Anyway, well,
let's do some stoppage.
so we're both rocking our Chelsea here,
Sure.
and we just managed to squeak by at home 2-2 against Bournemouth, the men's team. But before that, we felt
Yeah.
really good because they beat, and I quote, whoever the fuck they were, Morecambe, that got
5-0,
thrashed,
bro.
5-0, dude. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it
yeah,
was just a classic game where Tosin and João Felix both bag braces. We dominate. And Nkunku gets his goal.
yeah,
It felt good, man. I didn't have any
yeah.
worries in the world. Just vibing, watching center backs dunk on people.
For sure,
Good
for sure.
times, bro.
You couldn't even tell me what rank Morecambe is on the English tier football, could
Couldn't
you?
tell you anything. Were they League Two?
But they gotta be. They're down there, bro. They're in the
Yeah.
mud.
Are they the one with the shrimp on their crest?
They are. They've got
Yeah.
the prawn on there.
That's my
Uh,
FIFA rebuild team, bro. I've rebuilt them a couple
yeah,
times.
yeah. So have a little
Yeah.
shame, my guy. I mean,
They're
I'm just
second to last in League Two.
there. It is.
Yo.
But anyway, on the flip side, though, on the women's side of things, they just got done thrashing Charlton 4-0.
Yep.
And I believe that was also for their FA Cup match as
Yes.
well.
Correct.
Domination by committee, 4 different goal scorers. You know, I just love to see it, man. Chelsea things.
Yeah, it's the same story. You're playing a bottom table team, a team that shouldn't give you any competition, and they don't.
Right.
Rightfully so. Right. So that's what you need to see in these situations.
Exactly.
Let the other guys get some run, let the other gals get some run,
Mhm.
and get that confidence up and break into the rotation if they can.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
then go get a draw against a shit team
Yeah.
a few days
How
later
we
with
do.
your best players.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Exactly. And that's Chelsea formula. But anyway, moving on. We've got the Premier League is starting to get serious and issuing disciplinary charges to any club that broke financial rules in the 21-24 reporting period. And to be clear, that's 2021-2024
Yes.
reporting period. Are we safe?
Let's see. I'm looking it up now because that was 2 days ago that we put this, which means yesterday would have been the day. I don't know if this is the
I
most
feel
up
like
to
Sky
date.
Sport would probably have some.
Yeah, I see. I don't have it in front of me, to be honest. I thought that was, but the headline was misleading, obviously, and here we are.
Yeah.
Who knows? It looks like most teams avoided charge, from what I'm seeing.
I will cry, and I know that this is irony, listener, but like I will cry if we get charged, but Man City doesn't. But I will laugh if Man City gets the call. But we know that Man City's,
Yeah.
not going to pay a dime.
We have here from just this morning, like 4 a.m. on the 15th, this morning, the 14th, that the Premier League has not charged any clubs for breaches of profitability and sustainability rules last season.
Bro.
So I don't know if that means they're looking at 23, 22, 21 now, but 2024 at minimum, clubs are safe.
That's crazy.
So,
bro,
yeah.
Todd Bowley, Beg Golly, whatever, bro. They're geniuses up there,
Yeah. They're doing
Anyway. This one was wild when you added this. FIFA has temporarily banned the Philadelphia Union from registering new players.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. I honestly don't know what happened there, but the vibes are very poor out in Philly right now.
Yeah, bro. I thought that Infantino just saw that clip of that Philadelphia Eagles fan and was like, "Hey, if they have a soccer club, ban them." Like, it's bad out
Right.
there, bro.
Exactly, bro. It looks like it was some like late transfer fee payment that didn't go through a few years back. And yeah.
Tough, man.
Dude. They've been in courts trying to battle it, but yeah, I mean, when FIFA comes in to MLS and starts telling clubs they're not allowed to do anything when this is all we got, like it's now or never for Philly. Like, they can't bring anybody in until July if that's the case. At the earliest, which means it's going to be a lot of Philly 2 players filling that roster out as needed. And after a down year last year, comparatively.
I would have loved to have played them at the same time that we were scheduled to play them last season, this season.
Right.
During all that. But anyway.
Yeah, it's tough, bro.
That's crazy.
It's tough.
You mentioned this just before stoppage time, but we have the league passing this new cash-based internal trade system to go into effect immediately.
Yep.
And so what that looks like is like cash for players, 2 in, 2 out. You can probably go into a little bit of depth there.
Yeah.
GAM has no expiration. You get 2 buyouts a year and some other stuff.
Yeah, the 2 in, 2 out thing, instead of, it's like there's so many intra league rules that I don't even know half of them, of like how to trade players and whatnot
Hmm.
throughout the season, and what type of mechanisms for like re-entry and all that type of stuff when
Right.
you get sold or bought out. This kind of creates a more, I don't know, just familiar system for a lot of American sports fans where
Hmm.
you can just buy a player. It's
Yeah.
that easy. If you want, it's essentially just trading them for money and
Yeah.
saying, "Great, we'll give you fucking 2 mil for this player," and they're like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And you can buy 2 players a year. You can sell 2 players a year in that way.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is like a 2 year trial run to see if this type of system works for the clubs,
Right.
and
Yeah.
if the league does well from it, then
Hmm.
it will hope to see this long term. But it limits some of those weird yellow tape MLS only rules that are like weird morphs of like 90s leftovers trying to mimic NBA and NFL and whatnot, but also
Hmm.
trying to mimic the greater footy world, and just these weird,
Yeah. I was
strange rules.
I was a little bit bummed. I'm not going to lie that it wasn't as easy to boil down into like a 3-letter, acronym.
Yeah.
Because I
Gam and
really
Tam.
like my GAM and my TAM, and you know, I
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly.
But anyway, yeah, that's cool. I guess.
Yep.
Looking over to the women's national team, so we had Emma. Basically running 2 camps at once. We have the futures camp and then also the women's national team camp. And unfortunately, due to the situation out in LA, which is where
Yep.
they were on having this training session, they had to move it out. And so
Yep.
hopefully they're able to kind of figure those logistics out. But as a side note, 2 players from UT women's team. What are the balloons? That's so crazy.
I love
Uh,
balloons.
the 2 of the players, I believe it was Justice, the keeper, and
Nice.
midfielder Missimo, I think,
Yeah.
are part of that futures camp. So
That's awesome, man. Yeah,
yeah.
that's good to see the Longhorn ladies get some recognition there because they earned it.
Hmm.
Um, and again, it's just it's very devastating what's
Yeah,
happening in LA with the wildfires.
for sure.
A kind of once in a century, if not more, event
Hmm.
that is just tearing up the community. So
Yeah,
I'm
man.
glad the U.S. women's team were able to move camp and get things done. But I hope um, that like many of the LA-based sports teams and other groups around the area, that the national team, the American, what is it, IOC? No, that's whatever. That's the Olympics. But
Hmm.
the U.S. soccer group can come together and offer some support down there if they're not already. They
Yeah.
definitely could. Yeah,
No, for
but
sure,
just
man. For sure.
to help out there.
Looking a little south in San Diego, we have former San Diego Wave coach Casey Stoney set to take over as coaching the Canadians women's team. So I believe she'd be taking over after that whole Bev Priestman and like the drone scandal.
Right. I forgot about that. Wow, it
Yeah,
seems so
dude.
long ago.
So
Is that a
uh,
good signing for all, like for both her and Canada? Do you think that
it's
quality?
interesting because I believe this would be her first time out as a national team coach. So a little bit of an unknown there, and I think she had a bit of a rough start last season with the Wave, but before that, I
Or,
think she was doing fine.
man,
So
it's
it's just going to be
everybody's
interesting.
first time sometime,
Exactly, exactly. But
So,
good to see that she's getting a run out. So be good.
nice, dude.
Heck yeah, man. And then I don't want to do this one.
I got you. To close it out, this will be the last time we do this for a while. The Texas Longhorns football season has ended. Unfortunately, it was a kind of repeat of last season where you made it to the semifinal, the Final Four, and lost to a better performing quarterback.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Ohio State, best of luck. I hope Notre Dame beats that ass. And yeah, man, we chose to live by the 3, die by the 3, man. That Quinn Ewers number 3,
Mm,
and that works sometimes, and it doesn't always work. So
right.
sad to see. But what do we have to look forward to, man, with Longhorn football?
Oh, we got that Arch Manning
Yeah,
era,
exactly, bro.
bro. Come on now.
Like a phoenix from the ashes, bro. He's gonna
Straight
come out
up.
and carry us to ultimate victory,
Mm-hmm.
back-to-back national championships. Calling it now.
Love it.
Well, yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, man, because yeah, I was steady not enjoying life Friday
I hear
evening,
that.
but
I hear that.
you know, we move. Anyway,
Indeed.
we're going to go ahead and close it out, though, and just say we appreciate y'all, as always, kicking it with us on this week's episode of the Verdependent podcast. And I just want to interject here before signing off. Just wanted to take a second to wish at Austin FC a happy 6th birthday. Because obviously we're recording Tuesday the 14th, but you'll listen to this on the 16th. And depending on who you ask, August 15th is when the vote was passed for the stadium to, be approved. But on
Yep.
January 15th, 2019 was when the league announced the team was joining the league. And we just want to say happy birthday, Austin FC. You are now old enough to get a trophy. So let's get after it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. I'm Paul. You can catch me on Twitter at PaulAndrewFC.
I'm Logan. You can find me on Twitter at LobarVHLN.
And as always, you can keep the chatter going online by following the Verdependent on socials. That is an episode.
That's an episode. Peace, y'all. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Oh, why are you screaming at me?
Oh my God.